Hi, it's the team from Ethicul here. We are a Brighton-based startup and it's really amazing to be a part of the Covidarity Festival. We've been looking forward to this for some time. Today we're going to talk to you about a little bit about what we are doing as a business, our mission and then our vision for the future and how COVID-19 has affected this over the last few months. So now I'll introduce the team. So firstly I am Ryan.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Charlie. And just a little bit about what we're doing here at Ethical. So we have created the UK's first platform that informs, encourages and rewards individuals such as you and me to make more ethical shopping decisions. Not only this, it also helps support our fantastic retailer base as well.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, we did start off a few months ago. In fact, it was actually in March this year where I think it was, wasn't it a week before we went into lockdown in the UK?
So.
Roughly right before.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, this was pretty stressful and probably not the ideal time to start a business. However, we have tried to seek some positives from it. So, as we're well aware, COVID-19 has been one huge challenge for us as a business. But there's actually been three other core challenges that we wanted to address moving forward as a business.
Yes, so as Matt mentioned, these three key challenges actually represent the three pillars of what we stand for as a business at Ethical. And these represent the sustainability of our planet, the improving of local communities as well as those around the world, and also those that enhance social well-beings.
So firstly, when we talk about the sustainability of our planet, we all know the problems we are facing with climate change for now and in the future, for future generations to come. So COVID-19 has had some impact on this. So as we saw people slowing down, businesses started to shut, people went into lockdown, we consumed more, less was produced, and we actually produced less carbon as a global economy, if you want to call it that. And we've actually seen the ozone layer start to repair itself, not anywhere near the rate that we need to have significant impact for the future, but we did see that slowing down, actually stopping and reducing consumption and production can have a good impact on this sustainability and for future generations and sort of setting ourselves up for a better future in terms of our environment.
Yeah, but then at the same time, we've almost seen a step backwards in regards to our plastic waste. And, you know, of course it wasn't ever great before coronavirus. There is a fact that it was since 1950, 91% of all plastic has actually not been recycled. And I've seen in the supermarkets that more and more goods such as fruit and vegetables are actually being sold in plastic packaging now because people are a bit more conscious of who's potentially touched it and where it's come from. So in this respect, we've taken a step forward in terms of the ozone layer, but then we've taken a step back in regards to our plastic waste, even though we were in plastic-free July.
Nonetheless, though, I mean, it's fair to say that it shows that such a small period of time can have such a massive difference. I think that's a key takeaway for the sustainability of our planet. 3 months of lockdown, just the effect on the pollution levels, it just goes to show what we can do.
It's shown that we can have an impact. If we prove this and we do this long term, we can change the direction we're heading in.
Exactly. So yeah, secondly, there is the impacts on the community as well, as I mentioned earlier. And similarly into the respect of sustainability of our planet, is that during the pandemic, we have seen some positive impacts. We've witnessed a shift in purchasing behaviour from people switching away from, the big supermarkets, for example, with the shop shelves being empty towards, your local farm shops, for example. So that is one sort of positive impact that we've seen on local communities during the pandemic.
Yeah, so it's really interesting, that sort of topic. So I actually saw a post on social media from a local pantry and they posted that they had toilet roll because no one had toilet roll early on and it was hard to find. And they actually got so much engagement and loads of people saying, I'm going to come down and grab one. They had to post when they've run out because so many people were actually coming to get some. So in a good sense, it's good that people have been trying to support their local shops, even if unintentionally because they were forced to because they couldn't get things from elsewhere. There has been a negative on that side that some people haven't continued to purchase with these businesses as things have got a bit easier, I suppose. Things are now back on the shelves. you don't go into Tesco anymore and don't eat pasta. You can get what you want from your local supermarket. So people have reverted back to their old purchasing habits, which doesn't bode well for the future. So, I mean, hopefully they go back to shopping locally.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that we're trying to achieve as a team, is try to keep people repeat purchasing with these independent and ethical retailers who have set up with their passion to do business the right way, rather than do business the way that the retail powerhouses are doing it. And finally, is an area that has become seemingly more relevant than ever, and that is of social well-being.
Yeah, and I mean, during the pandemic of COVID-19, I would say that, you know, social well-being has become an area that's particularly challenging for individuals. You know, the whole idea of lockdown and people having to isolate and not being able to see your family and friends it's been challenging for people, especially when it comes to aspects such as mental health.
Yeah, we found now that in modern times, mental health is something that is more openly spoke about, and hopefully, as a result of COVID-19, more people will feel engaged to talk about their mental health, and they'll have these discussions with people and their friends and their family, and they get the support they need.
So that's a little bit more about our mission and why we set up as a business, to really entrench ourselves within these three core pillars of sustainability of our planet, improving our communities, and also enhancing our social well-beings at the same time. And of course, COVID-19 has had a big effect on each of these pillars individually, as well as a collective, in both positive and negative light. But you're probably wondering now, what is our big vision? What is our plan for the future?
Loving Matt's enthusiasm here. As Matt mentioned, we're quite an ambitious bunch here at Ethicul, so that's why we've set ourselves the vision of facilitating 1 million transactions by 2025. And as we sort of mentioned, this is out of the back of forming during this pandemic, where we're aiming to support our fantastic local and independent retailers to really strive and come out stronger as we come out the other end of this pandemic.
Yeah, so sort of the relevance of what we're doing has been highlighted by COVID-19 even more. So here's just one story from one of our partners that we're working with. Overnight, they lost 80% of their revenue that was going to come in due to the shops closing and retail shops having to be closed during the lockdown. And this really hit them hard. And when we know the people behind the scenes and we know how passionate they are to do business the right way and do things ethically and do things sustainably, it really affected us in terms of we wanted to help these businesses even more. So we directly know how it's affected them, and people behind the scenes might not know sort of these stats and these statistics, but they're really harrowing statistics, and that's why we want to be around for now and the future to make sure they survive and they thrive and they get the sort of credibility and the attention and it's quite just what they deserve in terms of their work ethics.
Yeah, absolutely. And the real heartache of it is that because these independent ethical retailers are getting hit the hardest, it's now putting a more difficult emphasis on the future generations to come, because they're not going to want to start businesses with these possible outbreaks such as COVID-19 going on, because they realise that their parents and their friends' parents, etc., they've been hit so hard and they've lost so much of their business just from trying to do the right thing. And these are the people that need our support the most to come out the other side. And that's why our 5-year vision is to encourage more people like you and me to make better purchases.
Yeah, we want to move people away from the big boys such as Amazon and show that you can get everything that you need just from your local independents, and you can do it in a sustainably sourced way where people are paid the right way and the community is impacted in a positive light from you doing so.
So next we'd like to talk a little bit about how COVID-19 and the ongoing pandemic has affected the communities for us as a startup. 3 final year students forming in March amongst a global pandemic. It's been challenging.
Tough to say the least.
Yeah. But what we've seen is amongst the pandemic it's been positive for us in some respects, isn't it?
Yeah, so obviously, coming straight out of university, trying to launch Ethicul during our final year exams was really challenging, and the whole country went into lockdown. We were like, okay, how on earth are we going to contact all of these retailers that we want to join us on this journey when we can't even go to their shop?
Yeah.
So this was where it became pretty challenging, but then we started reaching out to these retailers, and we were actually really pleasantly surprised by how much support that they were willing to give us in our early stages.
Yeah, I suppose more people were at home and they weren't focused on the day-to-day operations. They could sort of take themselves out of the business and think about what's the future of the business, what's our plan, what we can do when we're able to open again. And it sort of helped us in the fact that people had more time just to actually speak to us and get to know what we were doing. But we had no website, we didn't really have a social following. We were just 3 university students that didn't really know a lot of these people in the sort of community. But they really supported us from the off, some of these businesses, and they got on board with us when you could say, yeah, we didn't have a lot, we had nothing, we had a vision, we had a mission of what we wanted to do, and I think our passion resonated with them, and likewise their passion for their businesses resonated with us. And it's really been a really nice connection to make, but I am looking forward to the day when we can all meet each other in face to face at a nice little coffee break or something. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Go down the pub for a pint would be nice.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah, so making the right steps forward, but it's just, we are really, really grateful of all the support that we've actually had during a global pandemic. It's definitely something we didn't think was going to happen, but I actually think it's brought us, especially within the Brighton community, that we found a lot closer together.
Definitely. I mean, as we said, we were fresh out of university, so our sort of footprint within Brighton was very much limited to university contacts, really. But yeah, I think the actual effects of COVID-19 in that sense has really, really helped us as a business.
So now you're probably wondering, how do I get involved and join the movement? But it actually is very straightforward. All you need to do is head to ethicul.co.uk. Once you're there, simply sign up, shop to your heart's content with our ethical approved retailers, and you will be rewarded for doing so. And from this, we've actually established that we are the first company in the UK to create a circular ecosystem of ethical purchasing.
So we actually have over 30 retailers on our website at the moment, and this is growing on a weekly basis. To name drop a few, we've got Hisby Food, we've got Harrods of Hove, Minty, My Green Pod, and finally Happy Mackie. But there's lots more for you to check out, and it'd be really cool if you could check them out and support these businesses in their time of need.
And not only this, every single penny that you spend with our fantastic retailers helps fight for the sustainability of our planet, enhancing our well-beings and improving local communities as well as those around the world. And I think it's fair to say that COVID-19 has been extremely challenging for all of us, but we will get through it. There is light at the end of the tunnel and things will get better.
Definitely.
Yeah, so finally, I, on behalf of Ethicul, so on behalf of the whole team, would like to say a massive thank you to all our key workers out there that have worked so tirelessly for us and our communities over the past few months. And yeah, just a big thank you to all of them.
And also a big thank you to the guys behind the scene at Covidarity Festival. We think it's absolutely amazing what you're trying to achieve here, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of it. So thanks again, and have a lovely day. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.